Hi there. This video is something of a follow-up to my previous video in which I provided 4 essential pieces of advice for students about to embark on their degree level studies. In this video, I'm going to address the topic of the way that you conceptualize your identity as a student. This is because research has indicated that the way that you conceptualize your identity as a student can have quite significant implications for your success at degree level and the extent to which you enjoy your degree level studies. There's been a lot of attention in the mass media recently about the issue of student fees, and in particular the value for money that students are getting from degree programs. Now, it's fine to engage with those issues, but what I would encourage you not to do is to start viewing yourself as a consumer and your degree as a product. This is unwise, and the reason it's unwise can be very easily illustrated by contrasting the experience of buying a product like a TV with paying for something like a gym membership. When you pay for a product like a TV, you exchange money for the product, and you don't really have to do anything else to get the result from that product. In the case of a TV, it would be entertainment from watching TV programs. But when you pay for a gym membership, what you're actually doing is paying for access to the facilities that you then have to put in the time and effort to use consistently and intelligently to get the result that you want, i.e., to become fitter. And it's the same really with university fees. What you're actually paying for there is not the degree, but access to the facilities that you will then have to use consistently and intelligently to earn your degree. Now, at this point you might be thinking, well, that's all well and good, Paul, but does it really matter if I view my degree as being more akin to a product or a membership? Well, the short answer is recent research would suggest yes, it does matter. And the reason for that is whether you view your degree as a product or more akin to a membership has an effect on determining the way that you perceive your identity as a student, whether you perceive yourself as more of a consumer or a learner. And this affects the way that you engage with your degree, which can have an impact on the success you enjoy during your degree level studies and also the satisfaction you derive from the process of studying for your degree. If your identity as a student is more orientated towards being a consumer, then it's likely that you're extrinsically motivated to study. And that's to say that you don't really derive much pleasure or satisfaction from the process of studying, but rather you're doing it as a means to an end, perhaps to secure a job that you want. And this has implications for the way you go about studying. For example, if you don't find the process of studying intrinsically rewarding, you're less likely to engage with approaches to studying that are harder and more challenging, but ultimately more effective. And you're more likely to engage with your degree in a way that's dictated by what's the bare minimum that I have to do to get the best mark possible on an assessment, rather than what do I have to do to develop mastery of this particular material that I'm studying. And I think you'd agree with me that intuitively at least, this doesn't sound like a recipe for a rewarding and a successful degree experience. In contrast, if your identity as a student is more orientated towards being a learner than a consumer, then it's likely that you'll find the process of learning intrinsically satisfying and rewarding in its own right, and this means you'll more broadly engage with the subject matter of your degree. It also means you're more likely to use approaches to studying that require more effort and are more challenging, but are also ultimately more effective. And your approach to your degree will be less orientated around just passing assessments than developing a mastery of the material that you're studying. Indeed, research into student identity and its implications for degree level study has indicated that students whose identity is more orientated towards being a learner than a consumer tend to have a higher quality motivation for studying. They tend to use more effective study strategies. They tend to relate more closely to their peers on their degree programme, and they also have higher levels of academic attainment. So the take-home message for you as either a new or established degree level student is that whilst it's fine to engage with discussions about degree level fees, what you want to avoid is developing an identity as a student that is orientated around being a consumer. In terms of your satisfaction with your degree level studies and your attainment at degree level, it's much better if your student identity revolves around being a learner.